Alright guys, welcome back to the house built by Retro. This is the Retro Toy Closet with another 1/6 scale hot toy review unboxing, and this time hot off the boat from Hong Kong. We got none other than the reissue of the Mark V Iron Man suit from that second movie, which is always considered as fire in my book because I was a
Give me a fat beat to beat my buddies.
Iron Man fan. Which, for me, is kind of weird to say because prior to the MCU, I was more X-Men and Spider-Man. But, anywho, today, the Mark V reissue in diecast. If you want the original guys that got it when it first dropped in the plastic and you're perfectly fine with it, stick with it. You're happy with it, stick with it. If you have no reason to exchange it, stick with it. But if you're somebody like myself who was not lucky enough to catch it that first time around and you want a Mark V suit, then this is for you. We got a completely new redesign on the box itself. You got that nice white stencil of the Mark V on the front, surrounded with this beautiful maroonish red on the box. And as you can see, you got your back with all your legal warnings and shout outs and all that good stuff. But it's what's inside that's what we're here for. So we're going to go ahead and get this bad boy off the turntable and take a closer look and see what's inside. Okay, you slide it up out of that box. You got a beautiful engraved Mark V on this black styrofoam. Looks pretty cool. There's no art picture or anything, so you pretty much jump right inside to the box. I went ahead and took the time and took off some of the extra plastic goodies, but this being my first time in, as it is your first time in, so let's go ahead and check this sucker out. This sucker is definitely pure, heavy diecast. Like, he actually has some pretty good weight to it. Eventually, I'd like to start putting these on the scale to just see the weight difference. This one feels about as heavy as the Mark 85. Like, it's got some gusto to it. But yeah, beautiful. Bright red. Got that nice chrome outline. This is supposed to be, like, at the time, this is one of his more sleeker suits. Okay, so let's see what all he comes with. Hand-wise, you get your articulated fingers, which these are always really cool. They are fully articulated at the joint, so I usually like to put these on their hands to kind of give them that pretty cool natural look instead of just always a balled up fist. Definitely pretty cool. I'm more likely going to use one of those to hold an accessory, which we'll get into that later. And then we have our repulsor hands ready to blast. These are a must use if you just plan on having him in that effect, because the other hands don't articulate up as high. And if you could tell with that angle right there, that's why you need it. So, tons of detail, as usual. Hot Toys, they go all out for their Hot Toys for Iron Man.
Sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to exit the donut.
We have the head sculpt, which actually, this one is considered as just the head post. It comes with this neck post, which, you know, majority of the Hot Toys that they do put out nowadays, it's one continuous flow with the neck post to the head. As to why they went with this design, I don't know, because the body itself is a completely new redesign, and the head scan, new redesign. Like, you can see the age that was in the original one compared to this one. This one clearly looks better. But yeah, they went with the neck post, which I do have to let's see. They got like a piece of foam in there. I don't know. Okay, so that weird piece of foam that I saw looks like it's supposed to stay in there because it is glued in there. So I guess that's just to prevent it from rubbing. But if you're at that angle, it looks kind of weird. You can't see it from here, but from there you can kind of see it. So your head sculpt shouldn't be at that angle, so you should be fine. Okay. And for the top tray, that's all you get. 2 sets of hands, the head scan, and then the figure himself. So let's go ahead and get this bottom tray slid out and see what else he comes with. Okay, bottom layer actually comes with a bunch of little battle damage accessories, which that was like very cool back in the day with the Iron Man figures. They had the clean version, and they would throw the battle damage pieces right in the same box with it. So then you didn't have to go out and buy 2 separate figures like kind of how they stick it to us these days. So right here, battle damage piece right here. This is one of his shoulder pads. And it just pops in right there. You can see it's got that clear little clamp base right there. It just snaps right into that. Okay, these are all pieces that are around the arc reactor on his chest. Oh, man, I got like butterfingers today. Alright. Really clean design on there. You can see this got like a little dent damage right there. You can see the scrapes across the top. That actually looks pretty good. You got a repeat of the same part right there on the other side. And let's see if we can get the arc reactor out. Actually, this is just the top plate to Tony's arc reactor. More of that damage. Really cool. I like that. Then you got this piece right here, which is actually not his arc reactor. This is the arc reactor that our good friend Mr. Whiplash, Ivan Vanko, this was his. So I definitely want to use this. I'm going to put it in my Mark V armor's hand, like he was crushing it. That scene from the Monaco racetrack. And then this piece right here is just one complete battle damaged arm, which I'm more than likely, you know I just said I'm not going to use the battle damage pieces, but I started thinking if I'm going to use him holding the arc reactor, this is the hand that I need. And as you can tell, it's pretty cool because it actually has the broken off pieces that shows that race suit that is up under the armor. This is the race suit that he had on prior to being attacked, because he just planned on racing his car and pissing off his pit crew instead of letting them win the race. But yeah, look at that battle damage across the hand, on the forearm, scrapes up the side. I really don't know how I want to display this because I do have Whiplash. I picked him up last year at the reissue of him, and I might have to pose them together. But I like that. So I have a feeling I'm definitely going to have to use this hand now. So as much as I was just saying I wasn't going to do battle damage, I'm going to have to. Alright, slide that thumb on the side. There we go. I probably have to do it off camera. I just don't want to force anything and break it. There we go. But he pretty much holds it like that. That's pretty stinking cool. I like that. So, yeah. Looks like I'm going to have to do a little arm swappage. And let's see what else we have. Oh, okay. We got another battle damaged left hand. I got to go back and watch it in the movie. I can't remember if that was the only hand that took the most damage. I remember Whiplash was throwing the whip at him, so maybe it was the left hand is what he was using to hold that whip, and that's why that's the only hand that's missing parts of the armor. Because they do not have one for a right hand. And then they got this really cool, nice clean suitcase. Like, I almost bought the third-party one last year, and I'm glad I didn't. This thing is really clean. The camera itself does not give this thing justice. Like, the paint apps on this, it's really clean. It does not open, unfortunately, but it's a cool piece to the display next to a Happy Hogan, if you happen to have him in the collection, which this Iron Man collector does. I picked him up about a year and a half ago. So I'm going to display this next to Happy Hogan. So it actually looks like there's a lot of pieces this time around I'm going to be using with this actual figure. And then we have this display base, which I like that. Iron Man 2 Mark V on the nice chrome bling bling nameplate. Hot Toys. Okay, I'm going to rant for a second. Can you guys make your mind up? Are you going to give Marvel the flat black with the white lettering? Or are you going to give us that Star Wars treatment and give us like this nice aluminum nameplate with the nice etchings on it? Like, that looks good. That looks clean. This is what I want. They kind of went with the OG rectangular base, but it has that nice Monaco street texture to it. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and pull out my Whiplash just so we can see the difference in the base. Because clearly the Whiplash one was not the same shape, but it was supposed to be the Monaco street. So let's go ahead and take a close look and see how they stack up.
You sound pretty sprightly for a dead guy.
Okay, so here's the Whiplash base. This for me is like closer to the Batman Returns larger square base. I never did actually look. No, this one doesn't have it. I don't know why that's so dirty. I just realized that. Anyhow, on the Batman Returns, this actually illuminated, which they still have the weird pivots in the lights, but it does not illuminate up on the figure. Anyhow, the road itself, this is like heavily textured. Like, you got like pieces of burnt rubber all right here. Real nice texture. Then we have our Mark V reissue. It's textured slightly, but not as good as this one. Like, we got some good treatment right here with the reissue of the Whiplash. I kind of wish they would have went with the same design. So if you put them side by side, it actually could have matched. So that's going to be somewhat of an eyesore. So I may have to keep Whiplash down on my villain shelf. Because I am one of those guys, I actually do like to have my display bases up under them just for additional security, and I don't have to worry about them dropping and breaking those expensive glass cases. But yeah, that's the Whiplash base. So let's go ahead and pull old Mark V back out, and we will take a closer look at him. Okay, so we got the Mark V up on the turntable, and it looks good. Posability, typical Iron Man. Figure design. There's not really much to go over on the articulation. It's with the Iron Man figures, I always say you pose it for what works for your personal application. You do have to be careful when posing the arms or the legs because you will have parts rubbing against each other, and if you want scuffs on those parts, that's completely up to you. So you definitely have to be careful. His hips, all in this area, it does have the flaps that articulate up and down. So you definitely want to be careful with that when you're moving his legs around. Same with the shoulder pads. They do articulate out. They have that whole new design. So it's like these basically flip up if you're articulating it. So it's like when he comes around, you guys will see that shoulder pad does articulate up. To help you rotate it, you do not have to worry about doing any scraping, but that is on your own personal precaution. Definitely be careful with these because the die-cast figures are not cheap. Other than that, that's pretty much everything he came with. I see I still have a few more pieces of plastic I need to get off the Mark V himself. Only other thing I could think of, his legs, they do have additional flaps that articulate out. So here, let's go ahead and get them off the turntable. Let's see. And I'm just trying to be careful, guys, but give me a second. There we go. Okay. So all this stuff right here pops out. You can pop it out all the way around. So it's giving him that whole suit up look. So if you wanted to go with the clean version, i.e., then you would definitely want all these flaps out and deployed, basically showing that he's suiting up. I didn't think about it before, but yes, I'm going to have to go with all the battle damage if that's how I want to display him. I don't know. I'm going to go back and forth. I'll see how it looks, because I really don't want to swap all these out with battle damage, but we'll see how it looks. We do have more stuff coming, guys. Shipping delays. I actually got this one from Sideshow, so they told me last week that it was in the warehouse, shipped out. I received it yesterday, but I was down on the other coast of Florida, so I couldn't do much with it other than just look at the box. But we do have some Spider-Man stuff coming, so stay posted to the channel. JXP2 is supposed to be taking care of that, so we'll see what happens. As far as my side, we just got the announcement today that Miles Morales from the Spider-Verse, Hot Toys' first attempt at a Miles Morales in that particular format, should be dropping very soon, as it is shipping already out in Hong Kong, Toys Wonderland. But I picked that one up from Sideshow, so we'll see when that figure ships out. But like, comment, and subscribe. Stick around for the little Scooby-Doo slideshow at the end. And guess what, guys? Stay retro.
If you can make God bleed, then people will cease to believe in him. And there will be blood in the water, and the sharks will come.